Hello, and thank you for joining us for THV 11 News at noon.
No, wait, what?
Definitely noon. I'm Hoyt in for Journey.
I'm here
Taylor.
early. I'm leaving.
No, Chief Meteorologist Tom Brandon's going to stay. Normally we do the evening shows together, but today we said let's do some lunch. And what'd you bring?
I brought some rain, some clouds. Later today, a chance of a thunderstorm.
That's not good news. A whole lot going on this weekend.
Yeah.
Juneteenth, Father's Day.
Exactly. And Nathan Scott will be in for evening duties today. Well, my wife's birthday is today, so I'm taking the afternoon off. I don't think she's watching. She's getting her hair done. But happy birthday, darling.
But is it going to rain on her birthday and on all the festivities going on this weekend?
I think it's probably going to. It already has a little in some places in Arkansas. And I wouldn't be surprised this afternoon if we had some strong thunderstorms. Northwest flow aloft, driving system southeast over Arkansas with rain, and there's a thunderstorm out here over Logan County. We've had some rain earlier this morning that's weakening and dying out over southeast Arkansas. Yeah, rain is in the forecast off and on. We'll see a chance this afternoon, less of a chance tomorrow, and then another chance on Sunday. And there will be the opportunity for severe weather all weekend long. Whatever storms get going and the heat and humidity have the potential to be severe today. Visible satellite shows quite a bit of cloud cover, a variable range on temperatures from 70s in Fayetteville to mid-80s here in Little Rock. We're at 84. We were at 86 last hour. Weekend outlook, isolated storms Saturday. For Father's Day, more scattered in nature, and for Juneteenth festivities in Little Rock, this is what it looks like tomorrow. Partly cloudy skies, hot conditions as high temperatures get up into the low 90s. Heat index values tomorrow afternoon in the middle 90s to near 100 degrees. Rolly will take a look ahead and also give you a kind of a timeline as to when you could expect storms in just a few moments.
All right, Tom, thank you. Just into the newsroom, Little Rock police investigating a homicide this afternoon that happened on the campus of Arkansas Children's Hospital in the early morning hours. A tweet by LRPD says they got the call before 3 a.m. to shots fired at an address that's near the Ronald McDonald House on West 10th Street. When they arrived, they found one person shot. That unnamed victim later died from their injuries. We're working to get details confirmed about the age and the identity of the victim, so stick with us on all our platforms for that information. And a Little Rock man is sitting in the county jail after his arrest for possessing sexually explicit material involving children. 34-year-old Abel Catalino Lopez Cano was arrested by the Attorney General's Cyber Crimes Unit. An online tip helped investigators get a search warrant for his home yesterday. That search apparently turned up enough material to lead to 30 different counts. He's being held on $1 million bond and had to surrender his passport. Lopez Cano is also barred from access to children or the internet. A court date is scheduled for next month. Little Rock police still need your help finding a man wanted for murder who's been on the run for months. Both police and U.S. Marshals are looking for 17-year-old Jacavian Harrell. There you're on your screen. Harrell accused of killing Victor Lopez back in October. Lopez found dead on Denison Street. That's just north of 630, about a half a mile north of Central High as well. Police tell us Harrell should be considered armed and dangerous, so if you see him, call police. Don't approach him. Let's go north of the river now. A second suspect wanted in the death of a North Little Rock man is behind bars today. Investigators managed to connect Quincy Carter to the murder of 38-year-old Jeremiah Brodus after his arrest last month in Memphis. Brodus was found dead at the Rest Inn Motel on Pritchard Drive on May 13th. And now police have arrested Derek Brigance, that man on your screen. Both he and Carter are now facing capital murder charges. Lawyers for the people suing to stop the LEARNS Act from becoming law are preparing for a court hearing on Tuesday after the state Supreme Court allowed the sprawling education reform plan to go back into effect yesterday. The High Court lifted a restraining order put in place by a Pulaski County judge earlier this month. Critics of the law say that the legislature failed to vote properly on the emergency clause that put the LEARNS Act in effect as soon as Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders signed it back in March. The state appealed that restraining order, and in a 5-2 decision, the Supreme Court agreed. But the opinion yesterday only dealt with whether the judge should have halted enforcement of the law. The questions about the emergency clause and its process could still be decided next week, and that is what the group hoping to put the entire law before voters is pinning their hopes on now.
That would hold the LEARNS Act in abeyance until the people get a say, until the people get to vote. We just want to make sure that we're heard, that the people are heard.
If the group can get enough signatures by August, and if the courts say that the emergency clause isn't in place, then there's the chance the law remains on hold until the 2024 election. Both the governor and Attorney General Tim Griffin applauded the decision yesterday, though, and meanwhile, schools are cautiously planning for the law to be in place.
Inevitably, something with the lawsuit was going to either end or keep going, just to make sure we are in compliance, because we don't want to start to make these changes and then realize that we interpreted it the wrong way.
Now, the advocacy group CAPES has until July 31st to gather 50,000 verified signatures from registered voters in at least 50 counties just to get on the ballot. And the Attorney General allowed the ballot language to proceed last week, but he warned it too would likely end up before the Supreme Court at some point. Now, this afternoon, we're also following developments in another court ruling. Pulaski County Judge Chip Welch striking down more than 24 state medical marijuana laws. That ruling came in a case that challenges all the times that lawmakers have made changes to marijuana laws since voters made it legal back in 2016. Judge Welch agreed that based on the state constitution, all of those changes needed to be voted on by the people. Some of the laws now in limbo include how much THC can be in edibles, how the state collects taxes on medical marijuana, and how dispensaries and cultivators can advertise. The Attorney General's office plans to appeal. A U.S. government agency has been caught up in the latest ransomware attack that's coming from overseas. Natalie Brand has more details today from Washington.
At least one major U.S. government agency and several private institutions have fallen victim to cyber criminals who are demanding ransom for stolen data.
This criminal group has started to put the data that they extorted out on the dark web because they're trying to get companies to pay for it.
Targets include the Energy Department, as well as Johns Hopkins affiliated hospitals in Maryland and Florida, Georgia's statewide university system, and the Minnesota Department of Education. Shell and British Airways were also hit in the global attack. The hackers infiltrated a popular file-sharing app called Move It to gain access to the sites. Bob Gurley is the former Chief Technology Officer for the Defense Intelligence Agency.
This Move It file transfer app is widely used because it makes securing data so convenient. It makes it easy to move data in a way that's encrypted.
Officials say a Russia-based cyber criminal gang called Clop is behind the attack.
They never attack Russian targets. And the software they use, it seems to be configured to where it will not attack a system that uses a Cyrillic keyboard. Isn't that an interesting coincidence?
U.S. officials say there's no evidence the hackers coordinated their attack with the Russian government. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
Jack Teixeira, the alleged Pentagon leaker and former Air National Guardsman, has been formally indicted by a federal grand jury. He now faces 6 counts of willful retention and transmission of national defense information. Each charge could bring up to 10 years in prison. And a 30-year-old American is under arrest after authorities say he assaulted and pushed 2 other American women into a ravine near a famous castle in the southern part of Germany. One of those victims died later at a hospital. Well, many events celebrating the Juneteenth holiday are underway in central Arkansas. The country's newest federal holiday has flashed on the scene in recent years, but for local communities like here in Little Rock, the day has had special meaning for many years. THV11's Journey Taylor gives us a closer look at how it all came to be.
What's interesting about that is emancipation happened at different times across the country. I mean, we know the Emancipation Proclamation was signed in 1862, and every community reacted and responded differently.
According to Keith Fletcher, director of the Mosaic Templars Cultural Center, the Juneteenth that we know today comes from the word and enforcement getting to those final enslaved Africans in Galveston, Texas in 1865.
But before then, it was called everything from Freedom Day to Emancipation Day to Liberation Day.
It's a time to remember all the struggles of the past, but also a time for the entire community to celebrate the history, the culture, the liberation, and the freedom of African Americans.
You can't have one without the other, and so Juneteenth is a perfect example of American history, another piece of the fabric of the quilt that is American history, and how that tapestry comes together, and it's something that we all should celebrate collectively as a country.
For 14 years, the Mosaic Templars Cultural Center has celebrated Juneteenth, growing over the years to the largest Juneteenth celebration in the state.
And be prepared to have a good time. Be prepared to support vendors. Be prepared to just learn and enjoy.
They want everyone, no matter their race, nationality, or background, to come out and truly embrace the moment.
For me, Juneteenth is a family reunion. So bring everybody. It's free. Tell your mama, your sister, your cousin, your grandmama. Have everybody come with you and experience it. There's so many things going on. If you like food, if you like music, there's a health and wellness village. There's so many aspects of Juneteenth.
Fletcher says it takes us all, and Juneteenth is a part of who we are as a people and as a country.
Juneteenth is a celebration of the very best of us. Juneteenth is a celebration of those who have gone before us, and Juneteenth is a time to remember and work collectively together on how we can continue to make all of our communities stronger.
Journey Taylor reporting for us there. Well, less than half of the men get their health screenings they need. Just ahead, the effort to change that during Men's Health Month. Plus, Tom is here with us.
Yeah, clouds and showers out there this Friday. We're going to find out how it's going to impact your weekend as more thunderstorms are in the forecast.